to hajile hela wa mona. Wabubona what energy. Love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today. I mean, you could have been anywhere else, but you spent your time, your morning, your whole day dedicating it to be right here at Creators Assembly. And for that, we are so thankful. So please give yourselves another big round of applause. Alrighty, so what's coming on now is we have something special we want to present to you. And this involves the founder, the mastermind, the brains behind Creators Assembly. He's going to be up here on stage and he will talk more about what this presentation is about. And thereafter, we're going to be doing another discussion as well as continue with our panel discussions. So that's a little bit about what's going on in our program for the rest of our afternoon. So for now, I'd like to invite Hansi to come on over to the stage. The founder, the brains behind Creators Assembly. He deserves another big round of applause, I think, right? Yes. Ibile rekayemela ka dinao ya na re mo ha standing ovation because he honestly, truly deserves it. Please make some noise for Hansi.
Like good as our legile. Legile, Akiri. Kyalebona. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hansi, and how you guys doing? Yes, I'm obviously the founder of Creators Assembly. Yeah, Karobuilwe, and those who know me know hore I love collaborating. I love working with others, and we have a flagship program. I was in charge of the music side of things, obviously. So I was in studio with 4 very special artists that I got from TikTok. So what happened was I just looked around. I did my research. Neke batla go bona gore ke bo mang ba ileng gore nka ba tsaya, mentor them, write songs together and share ideas. So bana ba bana le talente ba gaetsho, and I want you guys to show them love because we are about to perform a song. We are about to perform a song our 3 days studio camp. And ladies and gentlemen, I am not afraid to share the spotlight. I believe that I get blessed more. And this thing, ya gore, the artist or the creator, a lot of people don't understand the power of collaboration. There's 10 other people who make sure. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my biggest fan, my wife. She's right there. Okay. Hey, she's probably using my bank card somewhere. She's probably swiping. But anyway, we missed the opportunity to thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I always encourage the spirit of collaboration, and this is the only way I know how. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please stand up for this one? Ladies and gentlemen, clap your hands like this. Let's go.
think I'm obsessed with you, baby. I think I'm obsessed with you, baby. Baby, 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 love you, we love you, Davi. I don't wanna get back, get back, get back. Kira magi kotele, nkali khole kiro bo fele, fele. Na gira tanka holo tele. Oh baby, I cry. When I see you, I cry. You see the love that you're giving me, babe. I swear I'm so high and fly. Baby, I love you are the one I love. You're giving me love that is bigger like gold. I swear you were up. Getting got to the Sello, baby, you got me blushing, haki honey. I got Lerato taking over my body. Wherever you go, I go. Kasi kisale hakan pizza without a doubt. Get that kisiane. So baby, please call my name. If I give you my heart, will you keep it safe? Bada mojolo, tricky, sticky, baby, and I'm picky. Not just that I die, and I choose you to be with me. So baby, please call my name. If I give you my heart, will you keep it safe? Bada mojolo, tricky, sticky, baby, and I'm picky. Not just that I die, and I choose you to be with me, to be with me. Wawo khatala na gana ya, ke mamdala gana ya. Wawo tsenya pala mona na gana ya, mogolo kwane wa batsadi gana ya. First time ever feeling like this. Your voice, your smile, there ain't another. Drives me insane, it makes me wanna hop on that bar just how I want a night. I'm not playing it safe.
No, I have to hold these. I get I'm having. Dumelang! Yeah, man. That was lit. That was so lit. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Because we need to save as much time as possible right now, we have invited our very special guests, Bailongor, are going to be addressing some of your own concerns that you might have as a creator, as an entrepreneur, as a musician, as an investor, such as myself. Sorry, but now you know the secret. So I just need to call them here onto the stage because they are going to be the ones addressing any questions you might have. So you've gotten a representative from National Arts Council of Botswana. She's here. Marang Sololwane, please come through. That is my gorgeous cousin. Yeah, our dads are brothers. Kibitsa rahokere ramogolo, bitsa de dad rangwane. Yeah, so next up we have Vincent Roman Matthews as well coming through here. Malume Roman. Malume Roman is in the building. And then we have a representative as well from COSBOTS here. He's going to be coming through on the stage too to address your concerns that you might be having as well. Hi, sir. We also don't have Brand Botswana's not here, yes. So I believe this is all of our panelists. We have BBS Bank, yes, because we're all here for BBS, I mean from BBS, proudly brought to you by BBS. So we've got a representative as well from BBS Bank. Please come through here to the stage. So essentially what's gonna happen here is I'll just have a seat here myself. You will get a chance to introduce yourself. Let us know which organization you're from. Give us a short presentation about what you stand for and why it was important for you to be here at Creators Assembly. And then we will have our audience ask questions. So we're only gonna have 2 questions from the audience, just from each organization. We got it? So, hey, tough, but please do ask. All right, so anyone can go. Ladies first. Yes. I believe our mics are there, so yes.
Okay, perfect, it's on. Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, my name is Marang Sololwane. It's a pleasure to be sitting in front of you today in conversation with my peers, my CCI peers. Actually, all of you are my cultural and creative industry peers. Can we please give a shout out or a round of applause to Creators Assembly and BBS Bank? As Katie's already introduced and as was established earlier, I am representing the National Arts Council of Botswana, which, as mentioned earlier, is an SOE under the Ministry of Sport and Arts. Re-established through an Act of Parliament 2020, and we started operating in June 2022. I'm mentioning this because we are in the year 2026, so we haven't been operating for long. So what we are mandated to do is to commercialize the creative sector and unlock market value, build capacity for artists and creative practitioners beyond technical skills, support the scaling of creative businesses and enterprises, advocate for decent creative jobs and sustainable livelihoods, open regional and global opportunities for Botswana artists and creative enterprises. And with this approach, we hope that it aligns with Botswana's broader creative economic diversification agenda. And then, in terms of programs, so what you'll probably have noticed if you're familiar with our programming, we've inherited 2 of our parent ministry's flagship programs, that being the National Arts Festival, NAF. Is anyone here familiar with NAF? National Arts Festival? Can I get a yes if you're familiar with? Awesome. So, the competition to have president around June. So now we are running it as the National Arts Council. Last year was our first time. It's an annual, for those who aren't familiar with it, the National Arts Festival is an annual competition that sees us unlocking Botswana's talent across the country and celebrating it, right? So on average, we register about 14,000 participants, which I think is a good number for the festival. And then, so it's performing arts, the categories are between performing arts and visual arts. Then we have the Arts and Culture Grant, which under that there's the Mobility Grant. So the Arts and Culture Grant is a grant kana ke fund e leng gore ha ba diragatsi ga ba e apply-ela ga e buletswe. Now I'm saying this because this grant, before I say that, as I already mentioned earlier, we are 100% government funded. So the grant is only available funds permitting. So essentially it's supposed to run, or it's supposed to open annually, where we will afford artists the opportunity to apply for funding. Cap thing is 300,000 and then for projects. And then we have the Mobility Grant, which is a fund for artists who want to travel outside of Botswana. So this can be for the conference, for Haonali the exhibition or film festival. So essentially it's for artist mobility. Those are the three main programs the National Arts Council at present is running, but we are in the process of doing other exciting developing other exciting programs and partnerships. We recently, as you may have seen on our social media, we're in discussions with BQA around how to ensure that our artists are qualified, through what is called RPL, recognition of prior learning. We are in conversation with stakeholders like BBS to see how we can regulate or ready standards for the product that's our Botswana or the goods tsa rona. And then we're also looking at how to organize the sector through associations and through ensuring that you are well represented within your art segments. As I mentioned earlier as well, we have the database, which is a big project of ours because part of organizing the sector means understanding who's playing where, at what level, associationing, so like I said earlier, please do stop by the Arts Council, the National Arts Council stall to register yourself or your business. Thank you, guys.
Right, good afternoon to everyone. I would like a bit more energy. So, good afternoon to everyone. All right. You might be wondering, what is Vincent doing there? I was just saying, you might be wondering, what is Vincent doing there sitting with institutional partners? Today I wear a very different hat from what I usually wear. Besides being a broadcaster and on-air personality, an uncle to an amazing niece, I also now have taken up a new role where I serve as the general manager for Badikomponi Consultants. And what we do is the you from living a very expensive life because you're missing out on opportunity. What we do as Badi Kompone is literally business services, from business and company registration to tax clearance. We coexist with SIBA, the PPRATB, right? It's very interesting. With a show of hands, how many of you in this room, and I'm not gonna get anybody into trouble. I just want to exercise something here, okay? How many of you in this room have been paid for your creative work, all right? It could either be through a cash transaction or a bank transfer. With a show of hands, how many of you have been paid just this year for your creative work? Right? How many of you have been paid informally where you didn't need to put in an invoice or have anything written down to say, Kana, I provided this service, thus you need to pay me? How many of you? You see, there's a good number of us in this room, right? It shows that there is a lot of talent, but this room is full of businesses that aren't officially recognized, right? This is where we then step in. Somewhere here, there's a photographer. We see a bunch of photographers here who have probably shot 3 or 4 weddings just this month. I'm not saying the entire year, just this month, right? A designer whose logos sit on half the small businesses in the city, and a videographer who can shoot better content than what people are being paid for television right now, right? And none of them have a company. They have the talent, they have the portfolio, they have a nice Instagram grid, and they have a nice business WhatsApp, but they do not have a business, right? And I am here now to bridge the gap between being talented and being a registered enterprise. So from talent to enterprise, right? And thankfully, it's the cheapest thing to do and the easiest thing to close, right? Just last week, the Ministry of Sports and Arts put out 6 tenders for the Botswana's 60th independence celebration. And I'm going to read them out, okay? A frame tent and a fashion show catwalk, a full production team to run the independence fashion show, photography services, videography and live streaming, a drone light show, fireworks, and sound. Kidibadi lager. Did you hear anywhere in that list office furniture or supplies? No. This is a list that speaks directly to half the people in this room. The stylists, the producers, the videographers, the lighting team, and the sound people who do the exact same work every week, right? But then the problem starts here, where there are people who get paid to do that work, not because they are more talented than you, but they have taken the step to register that talent and turn it into an enterprise, right? That's the only difference between you getting national recognition. These are tenders that are open to Botswana, like you and I. But you are unable to then tomorrow wake up and go and apply for those opportunities because you are not a registered entity. You have the talent, you have the capability, but you are not eligible for those opportunities. In the past week alone, again, CEDA and the Botswana signed a memorandum of understanding to strengthen the support for qualifying citizens, right? For qualifying citizens. The creative sector has now been formally named among CEDA's priority industries. Botswana isn't short of money. CEDA isn't short of funding facilities. What they are both actively short of is bankable, registered creatives to put their money behind. Nobody funds a name. Everybody funds a company. A funder cannot pay DJ Tato or Lesego Photography by Lesego, right? But they can pay Tato Creative Studio Pty Ltd. The same person, the same talent, the same skill. But now on paper, a business they can legally contract, insure, and hold accountable and put their own name next to it without risk. Similar to the partnership we see here with BBS Bank and Mansutsi Productions. Who's behind Mansutsi Productions? It's Hensi, but Hensi decided to enterprise his talent, right? And that BBS said, we can put our name behind that. I get it. Registering your business will not make you more talented. It won't fix your color grading. It won't sharpen your punchlines or straighten your stitch if you're a fashion designer. What it will do, it will stop you from losing opportunities to someone less talented than you. Purely because they had a company register, a registration number sitting in a folder and a beautiful, and you have a beautiful Instagram bio. Your talent gets you noticed, your business gets you paid. It gets you protected and it gets you taken seriously. But the creative industry isn't short of talent. Go to any open mic, any exhibition, a wedding shoot, or whatever it is, you will see the brilliant art. However, we fail to get the paperwork done. Somebody spoke earlier on that we tend to complain about the issues when the inception wasn't taken care of, right? So start with the basics. Get your talent enterprise such that when you go and knock at BBS Bank and ask for a loan, they can track that, oh, nyamik unale company, unza khona go save madi le banka ya rona. We can trust putting our money behind this person, right? And I've heard all the excuses, guys, that it's expensive. No, it's not. Compared to what you'll lose by staying unregistered, it's complicated. No, it's not anymore. We are here to assist you, right? We're not creatives, Kobadi Gombona. I mean, I'm a creative. And I think they're very fortunate to have a GM who's in the creative industry because I then understand the struggles of the creative industry. Imagine opening up a business or registering for a business through a service firm like ours, costing you 1,500, 2,500. Right now in our economy, the creative industry is unable to afford that. So they're very fortunate to have a GM like me who understands what the creative economy looks like and how we can then bridge that to make it affordable for creatives to register their talents and enterprise their talents, such as when opportunities such as the one that the Ministry of Sports and Arts put out, you are now then eligible. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
John,
I'm not a creative.
the disclaimer.
Yeah, a disclaimer. I'm a servant of the creative. I am the CEO of the curatorship, the one going to perform, or you are going to do an artwork. That is where you are supposed to get a bam for that money. Because you are the it, they are not. And we are very selfish about that part. They know. Every organization that knows COSBOTS, they will know how serious we take the creative industry. That is where all artists are supposed to. It is their job, they need you to perform. And you have to put a value in that. Again. When all that is done, then BBS hosts an event. How do we do that? Listen, obviously we follow through social media. There is something that social media has helped. You cannot touch that. We are going to find you, and when you find you and you don't pay, we are going to take you to court, and we are going to take everything. So it's always best to advise them for a bonus. It's not COSBOTS or Ampatla, but you do it. That is the business that we do. So how do we do that? Let's take radio, for example, which is where most of the money, most musicians are. Your song plays. For every second that your song plays makes money. Then we levy that charge. But there has to be a balance between that. If we're okay, BBS, how much? Last year, let me give an example, we did 14 million. So every second a song is played has made money. But this is where the difference comes in. It means your song has played 5 pula worth of seconds. No, I have to be fair. We are being very frank here. I'll clear Labana hands for the Mahapatona. Who did listen to Angware? I get there's a reason why. They're the ones who are playing more. And the more you play, the more money you get. And like I'm telling you, our top earner was getting over $250,000 from that 40. That tells you something. Then there's an issue of international music. You have to fight for those rights. You heard the panelists during the day here. It's up to you to tell the government. They told you, then they're very serious about it. You can't get into Zimbabwe and expect to be played more. You can't get into South Africa and expect to be played in Botswana. It's up to the artists to actually talk to NACD, talk to the government. Let us make sure that whether 80% or 90% happens. Because the more money stays in the country, the more people get money. We paid 72% of 14 million, which means 28% flew outside the country. We are obliged by that. There are 256 of us in the whole world, which means the Americans, because I'm using Andre because he decided to play Michael Jackson. Sony wants that money. They decided to play Chris Brown. Universal wants that money. We are going to pay them. Sony and Universal owns like 80 to 90% of the international music. They will get that money because they can monitor the music because the more software, the more they can do that. They will know that there's play. And we are obliged to pay. That is the business that we are in. Our job is to make sure that you get paid for the value your music has created in everything. Make sure that you take your song, your music to the broadcasters. So that your music gets played. Create relationship. You are a business. You need to create your arts as a business. Create relationship with the producers, with the, the Andres and everyone else, the THBOs, so that your music can actually get played. We see a tendency. There are 4,500 members at COSBOTS. Someone does music, They drop the CD at COSBOTS, or they drop it. Yeah, the CD, so you can drop your thing, you know, telematically. Malaysia. I get a no total laba Roma. Hasor read la mola wager. Any CD exists for it. But now we accept music. I'm putting on the spot. We accept music with a stiffy or with a USB. I get it. Because right. But also we have made things easier. There is no part of the country that you cannot send your work to us. Whether we have a partnership with Botswana Post, we'll pay for that. Just put in, call our office or tell us to call you. Then we put your music in the system. But take your music to the broadcasters. Take your music to Chopis. Chopis na radio. Take your music to Safana. Safana na radio. We monitor that. Take your music to UB. UBR Lines radio. Let them play you, and they play a lot of international music. Our DJ friend, we need to be very selfish of our thing. There's a lot of talent in Botswana. I don't want to lie to you. Talent. There is a lot of that. So that is what we do as COSBOTS, and we pay a lot of money. We are the probably only people who really put money in artists' pockets. It's okay. We have contracts, but don't get into business without contracts. Music, professional contracts. We hired lawyers, gave them to your big publishers and producers around the world to look at those. We have those contracts. Ask them for them. Currently, we have a lot of producers being cheated upon. We have close to about over a million of money that's sitting in our bank accounts because you decided to come and call the music yours. Studio. So how on those issues we keep the money until they are solved. So you go to the police if you can't sit the 2 of you or 5 of you and solve that. We have contracts about quite professional contracts. Come, we'll assist you in that. Most importantly, register your music and declare everyone that is important who has done the job. And you'll get remunerated for that when your music is played. So that's who we are as the Copyright Society of Botswana. When I we will pay you. Me remember Aruna and BBS BBS. But when BBS has played you, now there I will have to go and do something. I roll up. And I make sure that BBS get paid. So in short, that's what COSBOTS does. Thank you so much.
So sorry, we we only have 3 minutes. Hey, yeah, thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bofelo. Am I audible? Okay, my name is Bofelo Kifetorile from BBS Bank. Okay. 1, 2. Is that better?
Yeah.
Kibidwa Bofelo Kifetorile from BBS Bank. I'm not a man of many words. I forgot Mama Kuchane here. Who is BBS Bank? BBS Bank is Botswana's first homegrown bank. Open the other. Ke banka ya Botswana, ownwa ke Botswana. Botswana ke bone di shareholder tsa company e. So we are here ka gore re batla go ntsha this narrative ya gore BBS ke banka ya bagolo. BBS ke banka ya mongwe le mongwe. So we provide a variety of services. We have current accounts, we have savings accounts, we have investment accounts, we have insurance, and many other things. So we want to help creatives to save, because as I said earlier, the creative madi a lona ha tsene jaaka di salary tsa rona ke re sure every month salary ya tsena. But we want to gore nako eo yo boneng sengwe o ska dirisa botlhaswa. We want you to save. We want you to ensure the stuff that you own, body camera, sound system. Some of you halal insure. Kamu sa ka rotso ga phakela o itela camera yesio. Gora gore is the end for you. BBS is here to help you guys for it. And we can ensure literally everything and anything that you own. Because this is your life. Camera yo, how do we insure? Phone yo, iPhone yo, how do we insure? Because those guys, they don't care. But you care about your career. You care about what you are doing. So you need to ensure that. BBS also has current accounts. Current account are very cute. I want to tell you something about our current account. If you have our current account, think hospital cashback. Because right to the accident today, if you can be hospitalized due to an accident, whatever accident, you are sure you are given something per day you're in hospital. If you have a classic account, that is the lowest one. You are given 300 per day. You're in hospital for up to 30 days. Last kemiwa. How can you tell my demo accounting? Merely sure mutho na sa heba to consent. That's about PIN, that's about OTP. Or refine you my dewa uchi. Ligere one again signal. Ro pelin dia tabatu. We are here for you creatives. We want to help you. We want to help you grow. We want to help you invest. We want to help you build homes for yourselves. We want to help you acquire dikoloi, mantu, and other good things that you want because we value you. That is why we are part of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right, now over to you, my audience. We have very limited time, so I'm just gonna give anybody here the chance to ask a question. Yes, ma'am. I believe we're supposed to have a roving mic somewhere here. There's a hand this side as well, the lady with the blonde braids. Just tell us who you are and what you do, and then you can ask your question.
Okay, hello. My name is Abigail Olavoren. I am a filmmaker, and yeah, that's what I do. And I'm an entrepreneur. And I recently joined content creation, as I would like to say, ke motho hela, and I'm trying to find access so that like I usually say. So my question is for the 15K people who follow me. BBS, I love what you did for Hansi and giving him this money to do this beautiful thing. And I just wanted to ask, as Abigail, do I have access to do that myself, to come to your office and be given such kind of opportunities? And if I do, how do I go about that? Thank you. And I wanted to ask if I can record it. Get like a one follower. Thank you.
Okay, he said he couldn't hear what you were saying. Please do repeat yourself. And then we'll have our last question. So, I can speak. Shy.
Neke botsa gore ke ratile ya ka le iretse Hansi. So neke botsa gore ke la Abigail ke le motho I don't have connections or anything, but I'm trying. This is why I'm asking. Do I even have access to do that myself? And if I do, how do I go about that to be somebody who can go to BBS and say, sponsor me for something that I'm doing, because I'm a filmmaker. Oh, and I've also developed an app that I believe would help content creators as myself.
Lovely.
So yeah, that's my question.
Okay. We have the question right. So let's get our next question, and then our institutional representative will answer the side.
Thank you so much. Dumelang Betsu.
Dumela
Ke
Ra.
bidwa Let's Monzosa. Of course, Koduya Roropa.
Ne ke batla ho wela gone ho.
Ne ke batla go checka gore a ba reeditse. Well, I'm a broadcaster, I'm a podcaster, I'm a content producer. Ne ke batla go botsa ba COSBOTS in terms of, quality control, because I know gore the national broadcaster and this policy 80%, 20%, 80 local, 20% international gore. In terms of quality control, a ke maikarabelo a bone gore music yo tlang ke bone ba o tlhole in terms of quality assurance, or is it the responsibility of these media houses, the radio stations? Because sometimes as the radio guys, we get attacked for music you are on. But when are using your own discretion, you look at the quality, you are label. So I get the library to label quality kana nna gore nya ke ngwana Motswana a re motshamekeng, because we also want to appeal to the international markets and whatnot. And then to the Purple Bank, BBS Bank, go ra le perception e ne no bua ka wena ya gore le banka ya Botswana. Well, re teng rona ba re kgonang go bua Setswana re le banana re se bua sentle, we can appeal to other audiences. I've got a platform, the Let's Montosa Uncut podcast. I've got over 330,000 followers on Facebook, and that's essentially where your money sits. Are you open to a conversation? Can I come and pitch? Can we work together? And of course, Lee Bohensi in the mix. Thank you.
Thank you, Let's. All right, so now we're going to answer and address the questions that we've had.
All right, thank you very much for the questions. Karabami Mutuhe, our doors are open. We have a sit down, we discuss, we see how this can benefit you, how it can benefit other creators. We talk, and then we take it from there. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, I think I've answered you as well, sir.
Yeah.
My brother, let's. No, thank you for the question. I appreciate that. I'm going to start with a curveball. Nigeria has a population of 280 million or so. I got 10, 15 years ago, they started with those, those funny movies which they used to cost like 15,000, equivalent of 15,000 pool, eh? And the quality was bad, very bad. But what the Nigerians did, they made sure that the movies were played. I get the quality was bad, but they made sure it was played. The question now does not remain what does COSBOTS believe. Like I said, for every second, this is the conversations I think I've had with Let's and everyone. Picture this. For every second you are playing a song, you are putting money into an artist's pocket. The question now you need to ask yourself, as the person given the opportunity to do so, where do you want Botswana money to go? For every second someone plays a song, for those seconds, money gets into someone's pocket. Unfortunately, as the Copyright Society of Botswana, we don't have the power to dictate such terms. We are an international organization. In the corners of Botswana, no. All these 255 CMOs, 190 countries, the powers to decide how music in the corners of Botswana get played by whom and how much they pay. That's the power we have. Our Tameka, Bata music here, India, the IPRs in India is expecting money from us. So, everyone 80-20. Remember now, who were minister or the broadcaster, but that does not control the private broadcasters. But the public broadcasters are doing dismally bad. I'm not gonna, because we publicize those. Just get into our page, you'll see that. RB1 is hovering between 64 to 67%. Someone might say they're doing bad. They're doing bad. RB2 does an average of about 35%. Worse than all the private broadcasters. Hear me out. Worse than all the private broadcasters. The private broadcasters actually doing much better. Except you are. Public broadcaster. They should ask themselves, because the moment that we're going to send money to the artist, we don't have control over quality. But we need lads. If you are not going to empower these people, how do you expect them to produce better? I like the fact that you have started thinking, and I follow your net and maybe I'm just selfish to the artist a lot. I need you to start changing that narrative. Tell the people, you have the power, more power than you have. 350 followers, I don't think we are even at that much. We have got 4,000, they just want money from us. Again, let's ask those tough questions for the quality cancer, because we have the CD or memory stick. Because we have to know that the song is there. We have a radio. I want to say, men on our studio, first stop DBS, first stop COSBOTS. Unfortunately, DBS I can for now we say so. Is it a matter of quality? I don't know. I'm not an artist. But we need to have this conversation, but we also need to give them a chance. Like all the other countries. South Africa is growing. We always compare to them. It's because the government took a deliberate policy to make sure that their music really gets played there. You will literally fail to get your music high flying in those countries. So, they are the National Arts Council of Botswana. They are the policy makers, and they advise the government. Again, let's have conversations that they advise about 80-20. Only Muileng and Abua our dearly departed former minister Mtimkulu. The second thing, how do you expect to grow quality music videos? France 24. Who watches France 24 from 2200 to Mina? At least whoever has music videos, play them in rotation, because Rahudi Monitara, Rahudi Dwell. Again, midnight in these radio stations. Hala 2300, the Basimla what's now Berry White, table man. How do we expect to know you need Berry White if you have not told the creatives or Bona? Lizibo, can you start doing a lot of this? Tepo and everyone produce a lot of this. Tell the artists, because those countries they communicate. For this is the type of music we want. Rebata jazz, rebata hadu kodu, let's opera, I get Mr. Muntus. Or whichever way. But until we take a deliberate thing as creatives once and for all, fight for our rights, and everyone involved in the stakeholders, the government inclusive, we need to protect our creatives. We need to be selfish of our creativeness. Independence, that should tell you the first problem we have. We have people who can do that. So he can curate, he can choreograph all those things. We don't need to come and teach us how to dance. So why do we need someone to come and teach our people how to dance?
Mr. Makwinja.
So fight for those rights. Thank you so much.
Unfortunately, yes. Thank you, sir. Sorry about that. Sorry to cut you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue with these conversations. Please do go to their stalls, visit their stalls, ask them, engage them as well on these very important matters. Let's give our institutional partners a round of applause, please, as we walk off the stage. So coming up next, we have our next panel discussion. This is the one centering around film and content creation in Botswana. Lungo, we are here.
Ooh,
Ke batla wena, a go te wena. A go
All
te
right.
wena, gana gore-
Dumelang
gore-
gape, dumelang.
o re gasol.
Sorry, I couldn't change, guys. I couldn't find my manager
You
And
still
my-
look lovely, darling.
and my stylist. Are they back there? You're fired, honey. I'm joking, guys. Alrighty. Good afternoon, ladies and gents. We understand that we are behind time so much. Sincere apologies. We're going to get straight into it. We are going to get straight into film, podcasting, content creation. Yeah, it's about to go down. Where are my content creators at? There we go. That's what's up. It's going to be a very insightful one. Okay. I want to take this opportunity to thank you once again, Ke a le leboga, for your time and your energy for being here this afternoon. All right. Before we get straight into it, every powerful production begins with a story. But a sustainable industry begins when stories connect with skills, ownership, finance, and audiences. The challenge is to build a system that allows their work to travel, earn, and remain owned by the people who create it. This is why we're here. It gives me great honor to introduce one of the most iconic faces and voices in African cinematography, production, stage, and acting, the iconic Sello Maake Kancube. Thank you so much, Sello Maake Kancube. With decades of experience across performance, film, and television, it gives me great honor to have you next to me, Ke a leboga. Thank you so much. Botswana has multiple stories to tell. It's got people to tell their stories, and this man has done exactly that, bringing Botswana's production to life through perspective of writing and directing. Our very many years. You first met him, Alamo, my star, but we grew up together. He's been funny all his life, but he saw a gap in the market and said, how do I become excellent at what I do? And he has been flowing and soaring for many years. It gives me great honor to introduce Botswana's very own Hercules, Kennedy Thor! There we go. Thank you so much for joining in, Kennedy. This is going to be a fun segment, ladies and gents, and I want us to get involved as much as we can. Go to keep pa, because here is experience of greatness. I get it. So to all my young creatives, my TikTokers, my babies are here, and to those that are always behind the scenes, we also recognize you. But this conversation is for you, by our people and our guests. I get it. We're going to get straight into it, gentlemen. Ke a le leboga, and welcome. I'm going to start off with the obvious great. From having dreadlocks
to Chisco.
And also, there's a certain aura that has been bestowed on you. And I think it's the fact that you love what you do and you don't take it for granted. My question to kickstart of everything, what has longevity taught you that you did not know earlier on in your career?
Wow. You know, I think earlier on I got so involved. I'll come to your question.
Era.
I was so concerned about the intellectual delivery I was going to make. And I missed out on saying hala to the creators assembly.
Yeah.
I think what, you know, Hansi, tlogela go jola mo. Hansi, what you have done with your team, it is just amazing. And I would, you know, also not forgetting what also BBS has done by being part You know, it is very rare to find the corporate, you know, what is it, private corporate coming in and supporting the arts.
Era.
And one thing that the arts needs is actually, you know, private corporate to actually come in. Arts from the longest of time has never just dependent on what the artist basically makes. I mean, if you read even in the histories of the Mozart, you know, the Mozart were supported by the kings or the rulers of the time in order to go into the corner and go and create all this expansive music that they have done. And also going to creativity being the new currency. It is true, but for that currency to actually come about, consistency is what matters, is the currency that matters. And which means if ever you say you want to be an artist, consistency is what you need in making sure that whatever you do it regularly. You practice regularly. Ka Sepedi ba re mare le ka se makgona ke maboeletša. Ke itse gore ka Setswana ke eng, you know, go leka ga se go kgona. You know, go kgona ke go nna o ntse o boeletša. O ntse o boeletša. You know what I mean? And makgowa ba re practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can only but look at, for instance, even le ngwana o monyane, when a baby starts to walk, they don't just stand up and walk. They walk, they start walking, they fall. But one thing that is beautiful about babies is what they do, stand up again. And basically you must also remember that you were those babies one day. You know what I mean? And for the mere fact that today you walked to this place, what does it say? It means you have stood up more than you fell.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what it is. You know, so consistency is a currency that matters. And you never stop learning. You know, you never stop learning. I mean, I said that I'm 66 years old now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I said, you know, ga la nkutlwa Mike needs it's ge ke nna fa fatshe. Ge ke emela ke you know, and another thing is that my mind is beginning to play tricks on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you get to a certain age, your mind plays tricks on you. It says, go get. O emele o ye go kamoreng o re go fitla hore kana ke batla. But you know what happens? You know, when that thing leaves your brain, you know where it goes? It goes here.
Yeah.
You know why? Because when you go back, you go, So next time, when you get there and you don't know what, just press hard here. It will send it back to the brain.
Nice one.
Longevity. Hey, you never stop learning.
Yeah.
You never stop learning. And it has been a very interesting journey that I had. I mean, I started acting at the age of 16. You know, and we started acting stage balance.
Yeah.
You know, you know. And then I moved from that. 81 was my professional debut with Gibson Kent.
Yeah.
And Gibson Kent had we were doing musicals with Gibson Kent. And we would be singing with the band, but without mics. So that acting, Leona Kiona Ilore Ile Adira Horno. Lena Kibe Kodiobo.
Yeah.
You know. And also the presence. And Gibson had a way of training his actors so that you actually have presence on stage. You know, and Koha Gibson no sare go dula fa fatshe. O kre o dutse le ka mo rehearsal o mo dutse so. No. You used to sit at the edge of the chair and you have to be one of the deportment. You know what I mean? And carry yourself in a certain way. And that would also even apply when you are on stage, you know? And then from there, after Gibson, you know, and I'm basically just talking about the turning points. Or you never stop learning. Hakari, no, no. Then from Gibson, then I did Woza Albert. Woza Albert was an amazing play. You know, and Woza Albert, you know, I call it a jam for an actor. Because, that was actually taken from, there's a Polish director, Jerzy Grotowski. And he wrote a book called Towards a Poor Theater. And in Towards a Poor Theater, basically, what he did was get rid of the set, the scenery. And the actor was the most important thing on the stage, you know. And the actor had actually basically be the storyteller and all. And towards a poor theater means you don't actually have to have a barracking set or anything. It is just the actor. And if you look at it, and you look at how Rona, but Wabansu, when we tell our stories, we don't have this doing it. It is only the storyteller.
Yeah.
It is the praise poet doesn't even have even music background, you know, and you know, and he will just give a performance, and all you see and marvel at is the performance. So that was Jerzy Grotowski's, you know, approach to acting. And then from Woza Albert, then I did a very interesting play called The Suit. It actually comes out of a story that was written by Ken Temba. Ken Temba was one of the journalists of Sophiatown in the 50s. And the short story, it's a short story that we adapted to the stage. And it's about a man who finds his wife with a lover. The lover runs away, leaving the suit behind, you know. And then the husband, who was me, you know, and I was, you know, you know, and it took every night take a performance, it's about you know, and then that I worked with a certain director, Pani Simon, and his approach to acting, and even when we were doing Woza Albert as well, he actually worked with us. And he has an amazing way of relating to an actor, and which leads the actor to discovering themselves. Most of the time, actor, you know, and I like, you know, these days, you know, the young people, I want to kill it, you know, I want to kill it. And I'm going to kill it. And about, oh, you know, oh, Momotwati. And he's like, yeah. Acting or representing the human condition, basically, it's almost like having to allow yourself to be a vessel and let the life basically come through you. You know, you are not that person. You basically are borrowing words on the page yourself. Your whole life experience, your whole world view and understanding of life, you just borrow it and let it carry it. And it's out. So that whole process of learning and appreciating what life is, because as an actor, what you are doing is basically studying the human condition. My first acting lesson, which I got at 15, he was an actor in the 60s. And what he did, he gave me 2 lessons. One was a definition of what drama is. And he said, drama is the human condition in dialogue and action on stage. And then what he did was turn the word actor into an acronym. And he said, A stands for action. C stands for creativity. T stands for technique. O stands for observation. R stands for reaction. All these 5 things you use as an actor. But the most important thing, or the most important one in this acronym, is observation. You have to observe life outside, which is the external, other people, how they behave, how they do things, but also then you have to have an internalized observation. Every emotion has got its own rhythm of breath. Every emotion has got its own rhythm of breath. When you get excited, your breath, so every emotion has got its rhythm of breath. And that is one thing that as an actor, you've got to be so aware or observe the rhythms of your own breath. And in observing them and knowing them, then that's what leads you to be able to play certain moments or emotions during a scene. And that's what it is. So at the end of the day, for me, what makes it possible is that as much as I have been, acting for like 50 years, this instrument, because as an actor, this is your instrument.
Yeah.
Your body, your mind, your soul. I'm still basically trying to refine it. And one British actor called John Gielgud once said it takes 25 years to make an actor. And just to give you an example, what is it that I mean? I mean, onale 12 years. And then you've got a younger sibling, only 6 years. Because you have experienced that. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, there is a certain maturity of life or accumulation that you have acquired even at 12. And so when there is somebody who's at 18, they look at you at 12 to think, oh, naganor wise. Lo ena go le ko 18 ore wetse o naganor kwena go na lo nang le 25. Or oh naganor wise. Do you see what? And this is how basically, even as people, we realize, when I was this age, I thought I knew. And the human condition and life keeps transforming. And in this age of AI and whatever, AI takes in what is being fed into it. Now we're still basically going through the experiences. And basically for an actor and to actually enjoy the longevity, it is like keep being excited and curious about life. That's what
Fantastic.
brought me here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. All right, let me cross over to the world of content creation before get like Mr. Ngwenya, because I want us to talk about the infrastructure. How was that more movie making more Botswana? Kennedy Thal, from you being a singer to creating moments that you usually shoot, because you shoot everything in your life and you capture those moments. When did you decide, at what point in your life did you decide for the content creation it's going to become a business rather than just captured moments? How did that come about?
Hey everyone, how are you feeling today? Thanks so much for having me. Thanks for that beautiful question. Actually, my decision to monetize my social media wasn't mine. If I'll tell a very brief story, I was working at sea after I graduated for about 6 years, and I traveled the world as a performer. And then in 2020, COVID hit,
Yeah.
and I was one of the people that was stuck at sea. I think we were stuck for about 8 months trying
Almost
to
a year,
repatriate,
yeah.
exactly, to come home. And so somewhere along that, I started to obviously, you go crazy when you're at sea for so long. And I started making little comedy skits just to cope with being stuck on a ship in the middle of nowhere. And unbeknown to me, there were so many people out there that also needed some sort of comedic relief from their version of being locked at sea, which was being in lockdown at home, right? And so the videos gained a lot of traction. And then before you know it, I had a company called Wimpy, if you guys remember that,
Yeah.
came to me, and they asked if we could collaborate. And so that first collaboration is what really, I think, set the wheel into motion. I did a video with my grandmother, and it did exceptionally well.
Yeah.
And from that, I started kind of getting an understanding of what monetization meant. And that's how I ultimately became, someone that monetizes their social media. So it wasn't a decision that I made for myself. It really was a byproduct of just doing something that I already loved comedy, and I just decided to share it, and it caught traction.
Alrighty, nice one, Kennedy. Thank you for that. Rengwenya, film movie making. Arabella Hamarawanyan, what has working in Botswana taught you about building in a country where infrastructure limits you? My God.
Well,
There we go. It works better.
Botswana is actually well known for having limited resources when it comes to local production.
All right. Try the other one, please. Thank you. One, two, 1, 2. There we go.
See? Try this one.
Yeah, I was just saying, Botswana is actually one country where, when it comes to local productions,
Yeah.
the resources are never enough. They are way below par. When we did Colors, we shot it at about 3.8 million pula. That's really, really, really small amount of money. So the baseline would be at least 10, 12 million to start there. But then when you are faced with a situation like this and you have to actually produce the product, you become very creative. That's one thing that actually teaches you creativity when you don't have enough resources. And also, if as a producer, you have built a bit of trust with the people you are working with, it goes a long way in producing the product. I tell you what, when we were filming, we were supposed to find a master plan where we have to have an open space office, large enough to fit about 12, 15 people. And we didn't have that money. It was going to cost about 200,000 for 6 months. So creativity again. So we had to go into my house, dismantle everything, set it up. We even used the kitchen units as part of the office furniture and stuff like that. It actually worked out beautifully. You wouldn't tell that this was shot at a house. And then secondly, there was a time when we were shooting and then BTV ran out of money. So for about close to a year, people worked without pay. There was a gentleman here, I don't know where he's gone to, Mahau, he was part of the crew. Because people trust you, they are able to do the work without upfront payment. So in that way, it helps to be someone who's trusted in the industry. And then lastly,
I think about a couple of years ago, I did a film on my own. I only had about 3,000 pula. So, and then I got some guys to come and act. I think they are well-known actors. A guy like Maxwell Dichi. We worked on that without any pay at all. No one was paid anything. Well, I gave them residuals, royalties, percentage of royalties. And unfortunately, as of now, we still haven't sold the film, but we did the work. It's complete. So what I'm trying to say to young people is that sometimes you don't necessarily need the money. You can produce a quality production without the money. What you need to do is collaborate. Secondly, you don't even really need a camera. This can actually do the job. Right now, William Last on TikTok is the biggest African celebrity on TikTok. 32 million people. Yeah. And his total viewership is 54 million people. Most of the time was using justice and himself. So, like Ren Ngube was saying here, keep on doing it over and over and over again. Eventually, it can catch fire.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much. All right, technical, I think maybe that mic needs battery changes. Please, can you kindly assist as we continue our conversation? Scar, I'm going to cross over to you. Question which I think everybody really wants to know.
Yeah.
At what point did you decide, Jorge, you're going to constantly produce a podcast? As much as you're one of the biggest iconic rappers and musicians in Botswana, you diversified and went into podcasting. Please take us through at how did that come about, and why did you decide to continue producing consistently?
Because no one wanted to hire me, man.
Yeah.
It's a joke, but it's still serious, you know. I'm sure people are out there looking for jobs and trying to get a salary. It's hard times, but in that time I don't think I was employable, you know. The rapper part makes it very, very difficult for people to let me onto their platforms because, you know, they're not sure of what you'll say. Especially, I think I was having a beef with like COSBOTS or something, and then COSBOTS has a relationship with the platform I was on.
At the time, yes.
At the time. So it was messy. So, you know, we decided, yo, why don't we just, me and my lady, we then decided it's like, yo, you're always talking all this nonsense about radio. That's why, you know, I'll be listening to you, I'll be like, come on, that talk break is 5 minutes, you know, so it's like, why don't you do something about it?
Is that an example or?
No, I'm just saying sometimes.
It's like, what?
Keep it 90 seconds.
Thank you. Rule of thumb. Era.
Hey, so, but the one thing that I did realize, and the reason why we stayed consistent, you know, with the podcast was, what we realized was that radio is in itself, it belongs to people. It's someone's platform. You know what I mean? So they're going to tell you what you need to do and what you shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? And in this point in time these days, like Sam was saying, we have our phones. So you literally can create your own platforms. People are publishing books every single day. On their Facebook status update. I remember there was a Botswana woman or something, some lady in Maung. What was it? 2 wrongs don't make it right. You see how we know that whole book? And it was on, and it was so, it resonated with a lot of us because it was localized. It was about Botswana. It was something in Maung, Francistown. It was everywhere. It was a story that we could all relate to. Not all of us, but most of us could relate to it. So you do that first. You find an audience. You know what I mean? I think I wrote it down here somewhere. You have to find an audience. Don't just get on Facebook or get on YouTube and just start talking because you're cool. We all think we're cool. All right? So you have to find an audience that you're going to service. I found my audience. My audience, I was born in 1984. So I know the people that I can service, you know, are people my age, by law graduates. Some of them are now in civil service as PSs. Some of them are now managers where they are. They are not really checking for trap music. They are not really checking for the latest Benzo song. We could care less about Bacardi, you know. So you look for that. I found them. And then I created content around what they would like. It's not like I knew what exactly was going to happen next, but I think I wrote down some of the things that I checked out for, which was one, or find the audience, develop the format, which is when this thing is going to come on. When are the people that you like are looking at their phones? That's how we came up with 3 p.m. on a Wednesday, because it's in the middle of the week. Most of the stories are up. We try to make sure that the pod is as fresh as possible.
Yeah.
Even though it's like a long format and it's an interview with someone else, you try to figure out, okay, cool. How does this apply to right now? I didn't want to end up being like a history channel, you know, because we want to be able to connect with the younger audience as well. But I also feel like with the pod, Botswana stories are not told enough, so we don't know how Lungo blew up, you know. And, you know, you got the numbers up, you started crying and all, you know, so. But people don't know his story. But we're archiving that story for what? For future younger people, so that they can learn that story, so that we can demystify how people like Bolunga, how people like Bomarang, how people like Bodipsi become who they are. Because the story in Botswana has always been, get into class, pass, you get a job. And right now, youth unemployment is at a staggering 46%. That means 1 in 2 of us here doesn't have a job. Let that sink in. You have to create your own job. So a pod is an ecosystem. So that's what we found. We started measuring performance. We started creating commercial opportunities, which means because we are not monetized here, we had to figure out how we're going to keep the lights on. So with my experience from radio, I decided, why don't we sell advertising? You know, you can have that little strap.
Yeah.
You can have a live read.
Squeeze back. Yeah.
Yeah. You can have a 30-second ad or whatever. I know the rates at radio. So my value proposition is literally, this thing stays on forever. You know, with the radio, you can miss the advert, but with mine, you can see the ad even later. It's constantly there. So you have to create a value proposition for yourself as well. Why are you different from the people you're competing with? You know what I mean? Before you become cool on screen. And also, consistency, like the big homie said. Repetition is the mother of all learning.
Yeah.
I repeat, repetition is
the mother of all learning.
Hey, okay? And in that way, you build trust. So they know you will be there on a Wednesday at 3 p.m. Without fail. We've been at that thing for 3 years now. We're on every single week. Okay? And also, yeah, remember your audience and just develop a plan that works for you guys. And remember, if you have a friend who knows how to shoot, you have a friend who knows how to edit, you know how to be in front of camera, cut that thing 33%, 33%, 33%. It's better to have 10% of something than to have 100% of nothing. Okay?
Nice one. I'm going to cross over to you, Kennedy, for the content young people here. Return on investment. We spoke earlier about a certain brand that reached out to you in regards to collaboration. In that regard, there's constantly pressure. And when there's too much pressure, most of the time, quality becomes compromised. And then quality takes time. How do you deal with the constant pressure from platforms and brands looking for constant work?
Okay, I think the fundamental thing that's so important here is you have to understand you are a business, right?
Yes.
And so I think Scar just did such a brilliant job
Yeah.
at demonstrating that you need to not think of yourself as this passionate creative and think of yourself as a brand, and that your brand is a business, right? And so you need to be formulaic about the things that you do. So me, for instance, I have a day that I shoot my content in bulk.
Yeah.
I have campaign calendars. If I'm doing multiple campaigns at the same time, I need to manage that and make sure that I can meet my clients' expectations, right? And all these things go hand in hand with ensuring that you build trust, not just with your audience, but with the clients
client.
that pay you, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it is just paramount that people understand that you are going to have to be disciplined about your craft over and above rehearsing to be a great singer or a great presenter or a great actor. You need to really hone your business acumen. And what I see a lot that happens, especially locally in this industry, is people are brilliant at what they do, what they're passionate about. But people aren't generally passionate about business, right? They're not passionate about intellectual property law.
Yeah.
They're not passionate about learning bookkeeping and how to account and how to do an invoice. They're not passionate about those things, but you have to have the discipline to learn those things so that you can operate as a business, right? I am not Kennedy Thal standing here today because I'm a good singer. I'm not Kennedy Thal standing here today because I make great content. The reason I'm here is because I am good with business. I manage great relationships with my clients, and I make sure that every client that I have is a return client, that they keep coming back to me. I'm here because I treat myself as a brand. And so
Absolutely.
it's so important, guys. You have to train yourself to think that way, even just at events. If you are a public persona, if you're a public personality, there's a certain way you need to carry yourself at event. You'll never see me out there drunk, falling over tables, right? Because I am a brand, and there are companies that pay me to have a public relationship and be a public extension of their brand. And I can't bring their name to disrepute, right? So I hope that
Nice
answers
one.
your question.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you touched on that one because it actually ties to my next question, which is I'm going to open it to the panel in regards to the power of branding. I don't think a lot of our young creatives truly understand the sort of hard work that goes into perfecting a craft and making sure you're so good at your craft. The biggest misconception is I can be the next Lungo, I can be the next Kennedy, I can be the next Sello Maake Kancube. That is the wrong approach, in my honest opinion, because nobody is better at being themselves than you. So I want Lungo to be Lungo, and I want Smamang to be Smamang Kidi and Smamang. What is the best advice you can give the young creatives and young actors and young producers that are only breaking into the industry about the true essence of being themselves in order to sell their product and be the best at the game? Let me start with you, Re Sello Maake Kancube.
Such a big question. Such a big question. I think one of the mistakes that we do is that we compete with other people.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest mistake you can ever do to yourself. Biggest harm. You know, the person that you should compete with is yourself. And personally, when you actually get praised, you know, when you get noticed, when you being celebrated, and you're like, I've arrived. I've arrived. Where?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where? You know. So you got to allow your, but again, move at your own pace. You know, I mean, and I will always go, I'll go to this analogy of a baby. You know, sometimes, you know, even, you know, we forget that we were toddlers and we moved from being, you know, barking, well, a baby, you know, and then when a baby is being set,
to support, yeah.
I support my granddaughter. You know, mama namo tefisa too much. And I mean, I'm not mistaken. But the whole thing was like, even after a year, one day I didn't get American at least I'm you know, Kaetlos and your hair. I die. The next time,
Yeah.
you know, But the one thing about being a baby is that you keep trying. A baby is a go-getter. If you look at babies, they go for what they want, what they need. You know, le ge o tla nako gore, you know, ke na re ha sa a bula. You know, tla bula bula ntse a le lebeletse ntse a le lebeletse. And the next thing the baby goes, hey, but what?
They're not paying attention, yeah.
No man, and then o start bilo tshwarana ka ditafola, o itshwareletsa ka mabota, you know, and then also the next thing is that also the encouragement. You know, it's about me, and then that. You know, but they keep trying. But here's something also. Then you grow and you become working 7-year-old, 6-year-old, or leona ka bo 5 mo ba go ruta go ngwala and all that. I mean, remember the moment when you wrote your first R or 1, you know, or how it ho ngwala start ngwala I want wrong with the eraser. Morabe o ye le yona. We kopanye o tle yana o re that stroke. Le sona o you know, and how it's a ring. Mama born. You know, and one thing that we tend to do is that but that little child, you know, but that little child will just basically try and try. And with that child, who forced yourself to ride the car? Who forced yourself? You know, so one thing that boy midnight, like the midnight, mileage of that's a good life, there, it's exciting, and fascinating. If you're an actor and you really need whatever thing you want to explore there, the human condition, you will never stop.
Yeah.
You will never stop.
Fantastic.
This other thing. I like it. You know, my son. You know, I'm still working on my brand. I'm still working on my brand. Hey, your brand was formed long before you knew that you are a brand.
Yeah.
And what you are a brand.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is why it just doesn't make sense. There, you're trying to come with something. Find out when you look at something in the film, you're not just lying, you know,
Oh yeah, Sam, yeah. Print.
Be your own mind. What are you made of? Kennedy was talking about discipline. You know, discipline, something discipline, but discipline is the ability to keep yourself in instruction and carry it out. And the whole thing is that we undermine what God has created about us. You know, and God created man so that he should have what? Dominion. Okay. You know, motivated us to have dominion. I like it. That's what Sarato Sara Mike, because I welcome.
Yeah. Abo itse ko godimo.
And look at how people of our technique to understand. Anything. Dominion over this day. But I don't know when I see microphone. You know, dominion over speaking in a spacious space. So you realize that it's just so much that is created around. Life is actually even much simpler now than Ranahero. Information page, you are the very account generation. You don't know how, and I like it happen to happen. So everything is all around. If you just look at the particular what is.
You know, what is it in Lahore?
Take it here. I don't even at first want money. You know what I mean? Because once something, when the payment comes, I can go down. Once you do what you love.
Genuinely.
Genuinely.
Yeah. Nice one. Rengwenya, we are about 10 minutes. We need to be done. Quickly, what do you think are some of the skills that are lacking, especially when it comes to our creative sector, in regards to us competing on an international level, for us to be recognized on that international platforms as well?
Botswana, just like any other country in the world, is almost the same proportion of talent as any other country in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there is the best singer in the United States, you're going to find another singer in Botswana who's just as good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the biggest unfortunate thing when it comes to film and television is the experience, especially for independent producers. We're speaking of doing something over and over again.
Yeah.
And if we don't do it over and over again enough, we always go back to zero. And then I wouldn't say the skill that is lacking in Botswana is a particular skill. The talent is there. The skill may not be as much as for international platforms, mainly because we don't have the experience. But for me, my favorite skill that I think should be the one that should be at the forefront is the blueprint, scripting, dialogue. If you don't have good writers, your story is dead before it even begins. And then those who bring the story to life are the most important.
Yeah.
And finally, the guy who directs it all to make it coherent. I'll take those three.
Okay. Nice one. All right, Ska, this is precisely for you. Quick one. My biggest frustration about my people who I absolutely love, some, not all, is the fact that some of their work, especially in the music industry or certain platforms, their work is not accessible online. That is a big problem. Most of our work is not accessible online. I don't know what I can or people like Kenneth was saying, you need to learn and understand and study, go the extra mile, and then in the you go back to all the time. How do we combat that situation, Scott? We've got 2 minutes.
Damn. Okay. Okay. I've been releasing music since 2002. That's a long time. You know what I mean? Some people weren't born here. Hey, long time ago. So right now I'm focusing mostly on the pod more than I am with the music, but I do understand Hore. Because I'm from a generation where we're selling CDs. If you were here, you
Earlier.
heard when people were talking about CDs. Yeah, like one copy is $100. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So this new game really makes no sense for us. It makes sense only when you're going to perform. And you can only imagine in Botswana, we don't have any major labels. We don't have access to Revusi like that, who can be able to get you onto a deal, you know, because he sees you consistently. Botswana, you're going to have to try and travel there. But we saw what happened with Pizzy. You know what I mean? So streaming, I would put it to you guys. Why don't we have a lot of younger people creating apps that we can then use those apps so that if there is collection, we go to your office.
Yeah.
Because all of these things then will be available across the world. You get a Hensi to push it. You get an Ezra to push it. You get any of the big artists
power
here
of
to push it.
collaboration, yeah.
Then we will be able to see, oh, this works. And then everyone in Botswana will be able to get onto it. I think in SA there's something called Africori also. There are some of them that are creeping up that you realize what these are local apps that make it easy for collection too. Because as much as we use both DistroKid, sometimes I think you guys know about DistroKid, I get. Where you put up your song up there and then it's available on YouTube, it's available on Apple, it's available everywhere else. But you have to pay that license.
Yeah.
Every year. How much is it? It's about $300 or something a year, or yeah. But your song will disappear. But then you are not able to then aggregate your songs. Or how is ska? Or ska wa Botswana, how ska wa Mozambique.
Yeah.
So your works then get scattered everywhere. So it then makes it very, very difficult for some people. Or is that something that you want to involve yourself in?
Nice one.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that's why. So I just put it to all of you guys. Come together and Java, whatever. Come together and get all of those skills together and start. Go to SIPA, start a business. Whatever little dream you have. No dreams are trash. You know, every dream is viable, especially now, because the country needs your help. There is no new jobs popping up anytime soon. We chowed the diamond money. Me and this generation, we chowed it. So we need to.
I was not involved, honey.
So we are trying to make sure that you guys come out of this unscathed. Okay? We did you guys really wrong. But here we are trying to make sure that you guys understand that your dreams are viable. Okay? So let's put some effort into that. Open that business. Start, guys. Okay? 1, 2, 3, start. Let's go. Thank you.
All right, Kennedy, I want you to take this opportunity to speak to the young creators out there and also speak to our industry key players, by Baha, Obahe, words of encouragement, and also the importance of the support as we close up our conversation. Please, talk to the young ones.
Words of
especially
encouragement.
The creators.
You know, I was sitting here, and what's so funny, this is the space where my career began.
Yep.
Many years ago.
Yeah.
Let's go on ke le ha ke galela ke mo koupela. Wa nkutlwa? Ke mo ko.
Together.
My career began here before social media. I was on the KTV talent show from South Africa, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. And if I'm gonna offer words of encouragement, I'm gonna say first and foremost, please don't be part of this new movement of wanting things for free or things to come easy. There was a time in my life where I used to copy paste messages from a Word document. Hi, my name is Kennedy. Please listen to my new song. Here's the link. Thank you. And I put a little heart at the bottom, okay? And I would send that thing to thousands of people every single day. So don't think that me being here and you knowing my name is something that came on a silver platter. It did not. Me being here, and that's why I charge what I charge, and I don't want to negotiate on my words.
Absolutely.
It's because you don't know. You don't know how many years it took for me to become recognizable before I even went on my star. It is years and years of work behind the scenes that no one is ever going to see. And when you're in that phase of your life, don't, are they sabotaging me? Okay. When, woo! When you're in that phase of your life, okay, don't expect the applause. Don't expect the recognition. Just work silently. Just work focused on your focus. But if you stay consistent and if you stay true to the person you are and what is your passion, you will yield the fruits of your labor. And I just want to say, we're living in a day and age now where people have, I call it the commodification of coolness. And I like that you said that, right? People are offering coolness as their value.
Yep.
You look at on social media now and you look at a person's brand and all that they are is cool. I implore you as the young people of this coming generation, okay, find your niche that goes above, over and above being a cool person, okay? Find the thing. If you look at all the panelists here today, there is something about them that they do that is more than just being cool, okay? And this commodification of coolness is contributing to the dumbification of our society, where people have nothing to aspire to but just to be cool. The younger generation have no role models, but just people that are cool. And so all that they aspire to is to look good and wear nice clothes. But what are you teaching them? What value is there in that? You're actually teaching people to want to stray away from themselves because you're, in a sense, instilling a sense of self-loathing in people. What you really want to do is teach people something. I teach people sustainable living. I teach people how to be healthy in their bodies. When people look at my stories every day, they're inspired to grow a garden, to keep some bees, to have some chickens, and eat wholesome, homegrown organic eggs, right? That is my value. And so when you want to come into the content creation space, don't come in here wanting to be a celebrity or a cool kid. Find your passion, find the thing that lights you up, that, like someone here said, you didn't even want to make money from. And then share that with the world. And once you are sharing your authentic self with the world will receive you as you were intended to be received.
Preach.
Thank you.
Good one.
Wonderful.
Yeah?
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Oh my goodness.
Wonderful.
Rarera.
Rarera.
We're preaching.
Alrighty, thank you so much, gentlemen. Before I do say goodbye to you as we get ready for the final 20-minute session, I would like to say this to young people and to you. Maybe just back me up. It's okay to also diversify. You really need to get to a point where diversification becomes a part of your brand. We were born as brands.
I wanted to say something about being your authentic self.
Okay, go ahead.
I would encourage everyone to be the best
version of themselves.
Sometimes you may find that you are really lazy. That's not something that you want to embrace, right? So find things that are instinctive to you, naturally, something that you are born with, that is positive, and multiply that.
Amen. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Rengwenya.
Last one.
Go ahead. Babangkan's the mic.
Yeah, that's the last one. You know, the Baraking, we are kerekeng, you know, we are covered by the grace of God, you know. And one thing about us is that, about us, who we are now, is that from the moment of conception, we were covered.
We were.
You know, first, you know, and when that conception starts, you know, there's that layer that covers that development of the embryo to the fetus to the baby. And all that, all the time, you are covered in your mother's womb. You know, and you are growing in what? Isolation. And you are growing at your own pace. And like as I explained earlier on, as a baby, you grow at your own pace. So at the end of the day, when you get to this point where now you are aware of the world, allow yourself to be aware of that now you can actually cover yourself, you know, with isolation. It is always in isolation where things happen. You can never develop and be something else just in public. Whatever comes in public, you know, and then emra of mo as well holo motomasadi, you know, hona le teacher mo dara lokana tsama le re lo ira biology kota ga ile se be sona se tla tswela pepenene. So everything that is done in private, but the price of isolation, it is the fruit of what comes out in public. So never be scared to be isolated. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Oh, ukaka ke tlala. Ke tletse thata.
Bana ba
Ebile ke
tia.
happy. Ha monate jwang?
Jo batho.
Hi, Kiri.
Yo.
Alala.
Wena.
Diversification, guys, please take this in. I'm going to give a quick example. Marang and I started off as presenters. Marang became a presenter, hosted events, brand ambassadors, started her own business. Now she's in the corporate space and she's still diversified. Very important. The way the world is shifting right now, things have completely changed. I came from television hosting. This was also my first time. This is how my career began. KTV Talent Show, then My African Dream, Flavor Dome, Yarana FM, still on TV, now currently on RB2. But in the process, where I took the 5 years away from being in the spotlight, a shift happened inside of me during COVID. I said, Lungo, you've done it wonderful. God has been good. I'm grateful. But I don't have anything to show because passion will forever be my thing. And again, how do I diversify and still stay relevant in the space that I love? Ayoba was born. You understand? And then from Ayoba being born, I said, how do I then become better version of myself? I'm going to sell my specific shares and then I'm going to become head of marketing because I'm looking at a bigger picture to own something that is mine. And then 2 years later, last year, Soya was born. A restaurant. And I'm glad because I shared that moment to close people. You guys were there, Barang was there. It was at that point that I understood the true calling of being so good in your own space, not wanting to compete, not wanting to conform, wanting to be in a way, and I'm okay with that because there's only one Lungo. Going back to what Kennedy said, it's okay. Be yourself, be great, be brilliant. Take your time. Don't be afraid for isolation. It will come when the timing is right, when you are ripe, and it's okay. Raukan, keep doing it, keep pushing it. You guys are doing great. Now we see you, we applaud you, we recognize you. You are doing things I never thought I would do. I'm out here twerking on videos because you guys made it okay. And I'm fine with that because it's a side of me that I would love to share with the world, to show what I'm serious, but I'm also human. You understand what I mean? And that's what makes it great.
I want to talk about being a hybrid professional. This is a word that I discovered this morning. I was trying to figure out how do I frame what I do, right? Like I'm a jack of all trades. And we have to acknowledge we live in a small country with a small population and a very limited, finite amount of opportunities. It's just our reality. Our ceiling is very low. And so I think V is an excellent case study at you can be the best of the best in your field and still need to find other streams of income.
Absolutely.
So please be realistic about your dreams given your geographical context, right? And I don't mean this in a negative or condescending way. We don't have the numbers for me to be Kennedy Thal and just survive solely on content creation. For Lungo to do what he does and only what he does. It is just our reality. Like he was saying, he has Soya. I had to somewhere along the line think about the longevity of me as a person, not as a social media brand.
As a
What
person.
happens when someone else comes in and replaces me?
Yeah.
These are thoughts that I have. What happens when I'm too old to be doing social media marketing? And so my constant thing is, how do I find alternate sources of income? I have a garden consultancy. I had my first client in Joburg last year.
remember.
Teaching people how to garden,
Yeah.
right? That's another path of monetization of just me and the things that I love. I started a boutique agency, and actually I worked
Yeah.
with Marang. My
Yes,
first
yes.
client was Woolworths
Yeah.
from Cape Town head office. And you find these little things. Ha gongwe, ke rekisa dikuku.
Yes, Nana.
Tsame. Ke tsamaya, e be ke a incubator. E re a thuba, be ke pagama mo Facebook, ke re 50 pula koko a reng.
E
Wa bona?
bereka.
So you cannot have this air of, oh, I'm Kennedy Thor, I can't be. When I did the American Embassy Park, ne ke tlhagola.
Yeah.
Ne ke tsoga phakela, be ke re overall. I ke re, ha ke na nako ya gore, oh, ke Kennedy go tla to. No, because you have to be focused on your focus. And the
Absolutely.
reality is, where we live, you have to get up and grind. Right? So just take that as well.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our conversation, film, podcasting, and content creation. Mr. Kennedy Thal, Tato Matlaba Piri, aka Ska, Mr. Ngwenya Raleboga, and of course, the iconic Sello Maake Kancube. Ladies and gentlemen! Thank you.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, we'll be right back shortly. DJ, please play some tunes. Okay, Hansford. Hansi.
All right.
Oh, hi, our wife. How are you? Oh, give my Hansi to Melody.
Okay. A round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen, as our guests walk off the stage. Thank you so much to our panelists. Up next, we have our very final panel discussion. This is visual arts and scenic painting. We've got Prince Tom and Mr. Wilson Ngoni coming through next.
A restaurant.
Remember, our theme is creativity, the new currency. This is Creators Assembly, powered by BBS Bank.
I think I'm obsessed with you, baby. I think I'm obsessed with you, baby. Gotta go to the hustlers on my own. Getting got to the hustlers on my own. Baby, 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 love you when we love you, Davi. I don't wanna get back, get back, get back. Kill my geek, hotel. I got lerato taking over my body. Wherever you go, I go. Kasi kesale hakan pizza without a doubt. Get that kisiane. So baby, please call my name. If I give you my heart, will you keep it safe? Bada mojolo shaky sticky, baby, and I'm picky. Not you said I die, and I choose you to be with me. So baby, please call my name. If I give you my heart, will you keep it safe? Bada mojolo shaky sticky, baby, and I'm picky. Not you said I die, and I choose you to be with me. To be with me. Wawa khatalana gana ya. Ke mamdala gana ya wa go tsenya pala mona na gana ya mogolo kwane wa batsadi gana ya I go. Ngasi ke sale haka pizza without a doubt. Get that kisiane. So baby, please call my name. If I give you my heart, will you keep it safe? Bada mojolo tricky sticky, baby, and I'm picky. Not you said I die, and I choose you to be with me. So baby, please call my name. If I give you my heart, will you keep it safe? Bada mojolo tricky sticky, baby, and I'm picky. Not you said I die, and I choose you to be with me. To be with me. Wawa khatal na gana ya. Ke mamdala gana ya. Wawa zenya pala mona na gana ya. Mohulu kwane wa bazari gana ya.
Hi guys, how you doing? All right, 1, 2. Okay. All right, ladies and gents, we are wrapping up our session. It's 15 minutes maximum, and we'll be done so that we can network and mingle like it. All right, we are getting straight into visual arts and scenic painting. And this one is quite fascinating because I'm a big lover of art, and I'm happy that I get to speak to these
yes,
guys.
same here.
And this
Same
lady here is my former radio presenter, and she was my radio wife. FM. Oh man, the name of our show was called Shut Up and Drive.
Shut Up and Drive.
And we had a wonderful
It
time.
feels just like it again.
I'm telling you. It was King B and the one and only
Lezozo.
Ah, man. But I want you to do it the way you did it. My name is Skady.
AKA Lezoti, AKA Lezozo.
Nice one. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2 incredible men who love using their hands to make sure that the work is transcribed into currency. Joining me is the one and only Prince Tom, as well as the iconic Wilson Ngoni. Please give them a round of applause. Cool. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Have a seat, have a seat.
Anywhere
is fine.
All right, over to you, Katie. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We're talking visual arts and scenic painting. Before I want you to take this opportunity to our audience and just introduce yourself quickly, who you are and what exactly it is that you do individually. Please kindly check if the mic is on. There we go. Era.
Hi everyone, my name is Prince Tom. I'm a fine artist, a painter, a muralist, born in Madinare, but I'm from Mozambique. I've been painting, this is my 10th year as an artist, as a painter, but a 6th year as a full-time artist. A lot of people know me just as a painter, but what a lot of people don't know is that also I have a degree in industrial design. I went to school for industrial design, but art is what I do full-time. I paint, I have just a great body of work that I guess we'll get into detail as the show goes on. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, okay. Just bring it closer to your mouth, yes.
Oh yeah?
There we go.
Dumela. My name is Wilson Ngoni. I'm a painter, been painting for 37 years.
Oh.
So it's been such a journey. I hope to share more as we continue.
Absolutely. Alrighty, I'm going to hand it over to Katie for a first question as we get straight into our chat. Lezozo?
So I will start with, I don't know if mics are fine for Hannah.
Yes.
I'll start with you, Mr. Ngoni, because you've been doing this for a very long time. 37 years, you said. That is more than 3 decades of your whole life dedicated to painting and creating. What really inspired that for you? And how are you able to start? And how are you finding it now? How are you sustaining yourself as an artist?
Well, thank you so much. How did I
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But production, sorry, but technically, I don't know what's happening with the mic. Can somebody please assist? Mic, thank you. And then, ladies and gents, a bit of respect. Staging. Settle down. We are wrapping up. Kindly just be patient with us. Thank you. Is it not working? Okay. It's not working. Check my Yes, Re Wilson, o ka tswella.
All right. Thank you so much for the questions. Now, I found myself painting. I'm a self-taught artist. I'm not educated. So I don't know if I should say by luck or by casualty that I found myself being a painter. But you know, a lot of things inspired me to keep on pushing. One of the things that made me to stand really, really hard in this field was my background,
Guys,
my upbringing.
ke kopa re-
Life
Hi,
wasn't
Unc-
like
Re Wilson,
easy. Yeah.
sorry. Ke motho o ke batlang dilo tse di tlhamaletseng. Ke kopa o ntshwarele. Ko godimo, ke kopa, let's keep it down. I did ask, because we're in the middle of a session, can we kindly respect the two panelists this afternoon? Thank you. Yes, Era.
Yeah. So I was just sharing my backstory. Excuse me. Life was very, very hard. I'm coming from a background that was like very hard, like from the dust. So, you know, we used to dig trenches for us to survive. I'm from a family where we could boil pieces of chicken so that we can have soup and save those pieces of chicken so that we can have soup tomorrow again. Hela yalo. So, you know, when I found myself painting, comparing selling A4 size painting, loko ya pamusele was 6x6 trench. I chose the path that was now easier for me to pursue. So I chose painting. Yeah. So, Totana painting came to me more than I pursued it. So I'm from that. But inspiration, Botswana is my inspiration. Life in general is my inspiration, and a lot of other things. Tota. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have one of the most beautiful murals we've seen in Botswana, in my honest opinion, at a very popular eatery right here, Makaborone, Kakotapong Visual Arts Center. I think Halilimo, the restaurant at Tapong, there's a specific painting in what has got color. It's quite stunning. What was your biggest inspiration to create such a masterpiece on social media platforms?
Well, I think I can talk about that particular piece without explaining what inspired me to paint, because I never really like to go much into detail as to explaining my painting, because I believe I like to leave that for the viewer to feel what they feel and explain how they want to explain that painting.
Because art is abstract.
Yes.
Yes.
What inspired my art mostly was my upbringing. Like he was saying, I think every child is born an artist. So I was raised by a very creative mother. My mother was a very creative. I was raised by a family of healers. My grandparents were healers. So I think healing also is a form of art. So growing up, seeing your grandparents healing people and having a mother who was a creative. My mother was the one who inspired me to start painting, to start taking up drawing classes, but we had nothing. She was just a primary school teacher, so she would just take me to her art students and be like, please show my son how to shade. And then I won my first art accolades when I was doing standard 7. She was helping me with those projects. So that is why I paint I mostly paint women, and I dedicate a little butterflies. If you notice, look carefully at most of my paintings, you'll find that there are little butterflies. Well, the butterflies are for my late mom, and they go also out to represent every other girl child out there, because I'm the only boy child at home. I have 5 sisters. So if there's anything that I know most is the love of a lady, and that is what I paint. I paint what I am, I paint who I am. That is just how I can define why I paint what I do.
And then now, somebody may want to know that when it comes to client work, because you've also seen your work go, I think it's the Pick and Pay. You go Joining. You have a
Yes.
mural there. You have one also go Renkeng, Hashele Hale. You can see that beautiful mural that you've done there. How do you take client brief and also try use your own creative freedom? Do you even have that when you now have a client that tells you, this is what we want you to do? Do you tell them, or do they tell you? What's the process like there?
Well, the Pick and Pay one is very close to my heart because it came at a time when I was at my lowest. last year October, just a week after we laid my father to rest. That is when I received the Pick and Pay call. And there's a lot of blue in those murals. And a lot of times, blue in art is used to depict melancholy, sadness, or a grieving period. And then Pick and Pay colors are blue and red. So I was trying to escape from that blue period to that red. Red is full of color, love. And then it came at the right time. And they allowed me to just spread my wings and fly. They didn't limit me. They were just like, these are your colors. Look at every city. The idea was to paint 30 Pick and Pay Go stores around.
Wow.
But then now, because of the ongoing Middle East war, so you know how the oil Nyani is going. So we don't know how it's gonna turn out, but we hope for the best. And then I painted the Jwanin one, looking at the diamond industry in Jwanin. The lady Oglo Agadi diamond. And then Francis Sound is an old man, Aswera Mopaniwem. I decided to do an old man mostly because Francis Sound has a lot of history about Kalaga.
Yeah.
So the wisdom, the ages, the wrinkles is just to show the age and the wisdom that the Kalanga people carry. And because I don't mostly paint men, that was the first mural I received after laying my father to rest. And then I decided to paint an old man. Yeah.
Wow. Nice one, man. Very,
It was
very
still aligning
inspirational.
to the Pick and Pay theme. Thanks.
Nice one. Ray Wilson Ngoni, the iconic Wilson Ngoni. Unsubuaka from very humble beginnings where life was very difficult for you, your family, your loved ones.
Yeah.
Ntsu karela re ikuela mo go industry key players le ba e leng gore they are sitting in position to assist where they can, provided we go in the right direction, because everything is business. Go thata even in our space in the creative sector. Go thata go le kae o le motaki in your field of work, and we sit young house na any form of phone call coming in, kind of orderiwa some sort of a painting kind of motari. This is what I'm thinking. How are you getting day by day and surviving, and how is that helping you to become a better person?
Thank you so much. Tota, like you are pointing out and asking these questions, our field is the most challenging of all the fields. Governments, corporates, they are focusing on any other field than fine arts.
Yeah.
Yes. One thing that I must say to you is they don't recognize us, but they don't disregard of us. We are not recognized, but we are not disregarded. So it's such a tough field. Sometimes when I'm lecturing or giving talks to young artists, I'm telling them, you need to have a backup of some sort. And for me, I'm a writer. So I actually have my book, the one that I'm holding. So if I'm not selling paintings, I'm selling books. If I'm not selling books and paintings, I'm a musician. So also I do reggae music. So sometimes, I found myself on stage performing, But what I'm always encouraging upcoming artists, even young brother here, because these are kids I raised, like, giving them the direction where to go. Artists need to invest. Artists need to buy farms or homes and go into real estate. So that artists need to plant an orange tree so that while they're painting or struggling or hustling, the orange tree is having the soil and the rain and the sun and growing, One most difficult thing, like I say, we are not recognized. Even if you, for instance, do you know how hard it was for me to open my first bank account in 2001? It was very, very hard because
as a painter.
As a
back then,
painter, yeah. I went into a bank carrying 9,000 bucks. That time, 9,000 was really big money. That was big money, and I was paid cash because I didn't have a bank account, and the bank could not recognize art. I mean, I was carrying money. I was not coming to borrow money. I was carrying money and say, please, can I save this money? And the bank refused because they don't recognize me as an artist. My field is not recognized. So, it's such a tough thing. And this is very, very sad for us to be at this age, because my field influences your field right now. The dress that you're wearing, the film, the music, fine arts influence all these fields. But, this system, the powers that are be, refuse to recognize art. Like, I went into the bank trying to save money, not to borrow. I could not understand. You meet a lady on the street and say, "Mommy, can I marry you?" And she asks you, how are you going to support me? And you tell them, you tell her I'm a fine artist. She says no. That's how, like, to any level, that's how we are not recognized. You understand? But in Tsileruna, when they want us, invitation come in. And Runa, we are told, this is also, so we are appearing, you might find the young brother here, he's been painting masterpieces. I'm not going to point at any of them, and please understand. How much has he been paid against a similar artist who is painting less than him? By the way, I've been traveling to Uganda, Zambia, Germany, France, no one can match him, but he cannot match them financially because of recognition. Go anyway. I mean, even if we're to go even on social media right now, look at Wilson and Ngoni. Artists in Germany, artists in France, artists in South Africa, artists in Zimbabwe, they want to be like me. But I'm underpaid. I've written these things in my book where I say if a nation doesn't recognize its artist, it remains populated with artists who don't know if they've painted masterpieces. Because if I painted a painting, Yahore, right now, a similar painting is auctioned, go France, go America, go kai, for 75 million. Can I paint a portrait of you for $5,000? You start crying foul that, Wilson, where do you think that I can get $5,000? Yes. So my field is not recognized. That's the biggest challenge beyond Orike Survivor, Jang, if I'm not selling a painting. It's not recognized. And furthermore, what I must point out, so sorry to be taking all this, when we not recognize, they came vultures who claim to recognize us, and they feed on our eyes, So these vultures came, we're representing artists. These vultures came, we are this organization that, we are umbrellas for artists. But what is coming to you? I mean, sometimes you hear that the government is putting 2 million bags. And to who? When I am as a creative, I don't know about it. I'm not even consulted if 2 million bags is enough. You understand? So understand me, it's not the government that is stealing from artists. The officials do.
Sure.
And now, because you touched on money, I love money. I love the conversation about money. I want to know how you price
paintings.
Yeah, how do you price it? What do you consider? What do you look at? And this is also to help another visual artist out there, maybe right here in our audience.
Yeah. Thank you. Let me take this also still, yeah. Through my journey, quite a lot has been happening. I lost competitions where, like, I remember KBL, at that time, he did like Kickstart. I was one of the participants who wanted the money there. One thing they did not understand is, how do I price a painting? They understood that, a product has to be produced like Yana. So if you buy raw materials for 20 pula, then you need to put maybe 5 pula to make profit. You understand? But art is between products and emotions. You understand? So art is between a product. So it's Jana. Product, emotions, and art is in between. And it has wings that cover both because it's a sentimental thing. You feel. So how do we price paintings? If I'm painting on a canvas this big, like the floor high, and this canvas is worth 10,000 pula, for sure, I'm going to sell this painting maybe for 100 million bucks. You understand? Now, my people don't understand Kanye. I will talk about my people because I'm in this environment and my immediate consumers kill. So you say, how do you buy a canvas at 10,000? Or say, can I buy canvas so when I would open it will 11,000? What? So you get it. So this is what we are facing in this industry. Not understanding that I'm not charging for materials. I'm charging for the effort that I'm putting, my creativity. You were just asked Prince, how were you charging or how were you feeling? An artist is given what is called an artistic license to put yourself beyond where now your stories are simple. Yes. How do I reason with paint? How do I mix these colors? And it's not for me to mix these particular colors. It's been 37 years of mixing these colors. So what I'm requesting is for experience. And also, I also know that by purchasing my work, you're actually investing. I'll tell you, when I was in Germany, I met ex-footballers. I met ex-footballers who wanted to invest in me, who wanted to buy paintings. I lost deals because I undercharged. Now, painting because like it right to go Botswana, where they negotiate 5,000 bucks. Ex-footballers, one of them told me, you know what, Wilson? In my account right now, I have 190 million euros. So now I charge the painting kama 6,000 euros, 12,000 euros, and because on my head I was converting the euros to pula, I work my 70,000, ali 60, a million bucks. And this guy told me, he sat with me, said, you know, if I'm to buy a painting, 6,000, it's not an investment.
Yeah.
See, it's far below what I have saved, what I have, what I'm worth, you know. So these are challenges. So you need also to be adaptable to the environment you're in, which again makes art become very, very tricky. You become like you are dishonest. While in actuality you are adapting to terrain. You see. So this guy sat with me and told me, you know what, Wilson? If I'm to nest, say I take 6,000 euros and put it in a nursery to nurse it, to grow it, even my grandchildren will not have my investment. But if your painting was 50 million, I would be sure, okay, these paintings, they are hola kabonako and lena ngaja simomoti. So it's very, very tricky how to charge a painting. You know, here you charge, like I say, 5,000 bucks. Why? What is our background, Rona? Rokolezi modi 2.5. There's no space for a painting. So if you think about buying a painting at 5,000 pula, it's really big deal. Besides, even if you were to ask the audience here or post anywhere, on your shopping list every month, do you have a painting? On your monthly shopping list, do you have a painting? Do you cater for us? You see, so we are left subjected to, please make an offer. This is what, for sure, I can bet my pubic hair with you, Prince.
Not pubic hair, honey.
That almost most of the jobs that you're doing, you're telling the client to make an offer, because if you charge what you are worth, you lose the jobs and you go hungry.
Rebelson, maybe you can chip in on this, Katie, and maybe the audience. One of the most lucrative businesses in the world is the business of arts, visual arts. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. One of the most recognizable places across the world in the world of arts is the Louvre. And it is where art is a necessity because it's a business. I want to ask you, Ray Ngoni, you've traveled the world.
Yeah.
Has there been a point in your life, or okay, because Botswana, I know where my country is from, what's happening. My painting has to tell a specific story. Now, when I leave here with thorough research and study and asking questions, ke a go kokota ko the Louvre, or maybe do research and find out, gore ke le Prince Tom, ke le Wilson Ngoni, what will it take for me to get to a point where my work is displayed at the Louvre? Because I understand, from a little bit of knowledge I have, the Louvre house, but the work that is produced, if it's of a specific quality and standard and it's different from what they have, opportunities like that comes once in a lifetime. What have you done in that instance to try and knock for international recognition where money comes to you and goes back into your business? Hey, let me start with you, Prince.
Well, thank you for that question. Like he was saying, there are a lot of vultures in our industry. There are a lot of people who come, you know, they claim they're here to represent you, they're here to represent artists, will take you to the Louvre. Just was it last year? Similar thing happened with a gallery in London. I was supposed to host a solo exhibition in London, but then the middlemen, the people who are supposed to represent, he will and then and stuff like that. So we often encounter such things because a lot of galleries and a lot of museums do not deal with the artist directly.
Okay.
They want to deal with the middleman. They want to deal with your curator. They want to deal with your team. They want to deal with this business art collectors. They don't usually buy art directly from the artist. They wait for me as Prince Tom, maybe for Jay-Z to own my piece. And then they want to buy that painting from Jay-Z. Because if the painting is still in my possession, it means the value is low.
Very low.
The value of a painting increases depending on who owns the piece. Say Hanana, Jay-Z buys my painting, its value goes higher. And my value as an artist also goes higher. And then Bill Gates buys that painting from Jay-Z. It means the value of that piece now is way up high. And Len value as an artist increases. That is when such galleries they are recognized. You know how they always say a lot of times artists are only recognized after they die. That is when now they start realizing it's only a few artists who gained such recognition while they were still alive. People like Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso is one of the few people who got to enjoy seeing his artworks go up in the Louvre. Same with Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali was also one of the few artists who were successful during their lifetime. And then you have great artists like Vincent van Gogh. Vincent was a candle blowing in the wind. You know, his masterpieces, his paintings now one of the most expensive paintings sold in auction. But during his lifetime, he painted for 10 years. Started painting at 27, died at 37. He only sold one painting during his lifetime. And it sold for like, Madia Tenghara converted to modern day, 400 $. All his paintings were funded by his brother. And then Humpianwana, now he's no more. His paintings are wanted everywhere. So that is why the vultures, they always wait for you. They'd wait for Prince Tom to die. And then you, Lungo, would be like, no Prince Tom was a jam. You know what? But you refused to work with me when I was still alive. But then you know my worth. And then you're gonna, because when you can document, you can write better. And you're gonna go to those galleries. Present stories, I mean, how great I was, and you're gonna make money out of all those. A lot of artists, Baba Siong, we tell even their kids and their great grandkids do not even benefit from and painting sold for 450 million US dollars. But who's benefiting from the is Bill Gates and them. Like Bill Gates owns one of the few scribbles, Leonardo da Vinci. But he doesn't need those. It's just because he has the money and it's good investment, more when. But then
And
what
it
about
grows.
Leonardo's lineage? What are they benefiting from them? So even if my painting right now goes into the London Gallery, chances are I may sell that painting. COSBOTS was here. COSBOTS ne go bolela gore gona le ha ba hellang teng.
Yeah.
Bana ba protect mo regioning ya kwa. Ha ke tsana kwa, for me to be protected in London is a whole process that can take even more than 10 years. For painting you ya me le di rights tsa me ke kgona gore ke di own. And then now because a rich man bought my painting for maybe 12,000 pounds, and then now it's in the hands of a rich man. That rich man now o kgona go evalua ka madi mangwe le mangwe a batlang gore tswa gore o e rekiseditse man. That is why sometimes that artists, I always sell artists, sometimes o kgona go rekisetsa ata go mongwe le mongwe. O ska ba tor ate ya go e bona gongwe le gongwe, ate ya go e bona itela e hangarilwe mo semausung, because value ya gago le yena ya wa. But seeing Mr. Ngoni a logo Germany, it means his value increases. Seeing Prince Som in painting in South Africa, it means Prince Som is now getting recognized in South Africa, so his value increases. That is how Rona as artists must try to strive to make ourselves reach those doors.
Nice one. Katie?
All right. So another thing that I've observed is social media is a really great platform and opportunity to showcase your talent. There's a few creators that I follow on TikTok that I've seen marketing their paintings, their artwork, and I'm always just like, wow, this is so beautiful. So I wanted to talk about other opportunities that you may be aware of and want to bring to light, because as much as there are challenges and issues, there should be opportunities as well still in this game.
Well, there are opportunities, but then remember, geographical location also matters. We're in Botswana.
Yeah.
Our TikTok is not monetized. I have a video which has like 1.8 million views on TikTok, but what am I getting out of it? Just likes and views. Where some artists are getting regs, crate, and even when you look at their art, they don't value like quality. Is this artist really putting their soul and making sure like good art? Taking for instance, you know, one of the most expensive art pieces sold at auction. Banana by Solotape.
Literally.
You know what I register book at auction. Maria ten government to Botswana ha ke answer the arts. And after the Chinese man, as long as I reka, but you know what? Ene ona rekela gore o senne mokwalo gona yana o owner di rights tsele gore ke mohumi ke investment mo go wena. But we as artists are trying to bring that light to the government, the arts councils and everything. But like he was saying, we are never consulted as artists. Now I went to school. I'm a very well-learned man, you know. Like I studied entrepreneurship, I studied industrial design, I studied leadership skills, you know. But then, how would you do without consulting us? We want to try to talk to these guys about these things because they are in positions, say, they must represent us. But then,
well, I'm going to chip in on that, please, if you may. Yeah. You see, the biggest challenge these guys one, leadership is very, very stupid. Like very, very insane. You understand? So, and the stupid leadership, principally in office. You understand? And I see you guys putting BBS Bank. Lungo, you representing yourself. My lady, you representing yourself. Prince, you're representing. Wilson Ngoni is representing himself here. I'm not talking about another artist. Now, if our leadership is not accountable for who represents the artist, the fine artists, it's a big problem. I hope you get me.
Yes, we do.
Ke kopa go tlhopa ke re gongwe ke tlhope di network providers ke sa represent ope gape ke sa ntse ope ka goma. Have you ever seen Mascom selling the scratch cards are orange? Never. Why now artists have to represent us as artists?
I get it.
Why do I have now to form an organization and want to represent Prince Tom, Nike Wilson, Ngoni, this brand?
And they can fund you, or you can get help. Like it was difficult. It is even difficult for you to exhibit in our galleries and museums. But these days, back then, you proposed to host a solo exhibition. They'd be like, go get 12 other people. But you're trying to,
Yeah.
your own.
So if I may chip in again, what we've been saying, me and Prince Tom, repeatedly, seem like these are lamentations. I want to say the brighter side, what we have learned from what they've taught us. We decided to stand independently. Now, whereby, I don't want the system. I don't want you. I don't want whoever who thinks that, they can actually control me as an artist, because an artist is a free person.
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't want nobody to write me a reference saying artists are difficult people. That's where now I go and build my studio, Kokilinting, brand myself, and run my hustle without recognizing you who refuse to recognize me. Because this thing, I take it like love making.
I wouldn't know. I'm joking.
Same here. I'm just a virgin as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's you need to go both ways.
Yeah.
I mean, So if they decide now to sleep with you sideways, then it's a hard thing, because we know it should be from the back or from the front, and that's where you also have to receive.
Oh, from the top. Hey. Mr. Wilson.
Yes. So we've decided to take it upon ourselves. Where now, if I find that you don't know about art, it's upon my discretion and upon my own time to educate you about art. Now taking it like, okay, if she understands now what she's about to get, that's when maybe she can actually swallow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, So the brighter side, instead of having them push us down, we decided to stand independently. And if you see us who are standing independently, the way we are pushing, we are the most toughest. Yeah, we and
I may chip in on
Yeah,
what he's saying. I study a lot of art history, local and international. And then a lot of artists growing up, Nakanaketako generation, I found Mr. Ngoni already doing the thing. When certain organizations were being formed, they were part of them. And then that is the time also when sometimes the government so when I first came to Gaborone, I found that a lot of artists that I was I looked up to when I was still back in Pico and Madinare. Even now, that is the same lament. But people like him decided to break free from the system and to be independent. I'm also an independent artist. I've never been a member of any organization representing artists or anything. I've decided, but then this, how are that path? You are going to face a lot of rejection. They're going to try blacklist you, but then just keep on keeping on, because as an artist, you don't have to be your work will always speak for you. You do good, you beat the system, you go to UK, you go to South Africa, your art gets seen everywhere.
Actually, what they did to the artists they were controlling, they took them, you take an artist, you put them to school and give them promises. So artists were baited by, okay, we are putting you to this academic setup so that you become an educator. So monthly you can actually get 20,000 bags, you see. So artists were taken from their shell, their skin, and put into academics. And some of them, imagine, Prince Tom, how old are you?
I'm 29.
He's 29. I've been painting for 37 years. You come, you take me, put me in the academic stream. You come, by the way, when did I meet you? I mean, I want this conversation, please allow us.
No, it's fine. I'm paying attention.
Yes.
2016. We first met in 2016, when I was new in Gaborone. Yeah.
He comes as a young person, and Mr. Wilson, look at how I'm painting. Now, they take me and put me in school. Prince Tom start blowing the way he's blowing. they bring him to come and lecture to me what I have taught him so that I can get a degree. See, this is how they mislead a lot of artists. Why were these artists misled? Because one, they did not have a vision, they did not have a stand, they did not have a direction, and also they feared sabotage, you know?
All right. No, I think they are listening, and I think at one point something has to truly be done. We've run out of time. Quick one. One of the most famous paintings in the world, the Mona Lisa. Because of media platforms, it became one of the most recognizable paintings in the world. Ne? Are we ever going to get to a point where we are going to see your Mona Lisa? And I'm not saying you are painting a Mona Lisa. I'm saying a picture or a painting as famous as that one. Are we going to get to a point to see that celebrated on a huge platform like the global stage? The reason I'm saying that, the Mona Lisa got the shine that it has because of the platform of the media.
True.
That is television. We found it happening. People were pushing it, and it was everywhere. That's why it's still in part of history. In my honest opinion, I think it's just a girl. You understand what I mean? With bland colors that don't make sense, but I wouldn't understand. But what I'm saying is, are we going to get any of your work on that global stage at one point?
Prince, may I take it first?
Okay,
No,
go.
it was for him. It's not like yeah.
The Mona Lisa didn't become the Mona Lisa in a day.
Yeah.
It is people like you who can make my Mona Lisa. People like, there's a lot of people in this crowd, Boje, Nifa, there's a lot of people who can make my Mona Lisa. My duty is to paint. My duty is not to determine what is my Mona Lisa. It is you people. The Mona Lisa became famous because it was stolen.
Yes.
Before then, the Mona Lisa was just any other painting in the Louvre. But then because a certain guy decided to steal a painting in the most secure museum in the whole world, then the whole media went frenzy about it. And that is how the Mona Lisa got a lot of traction. So people started traveling from all over the world to see what painting was stolen in the most secure. Then why don't you, Lungo, try to steal a Prince Home painting and make it something? You guys, you want us to dance in front of our paintings, so to make us become famous. Because these days, if you don't dance for content, then you are nothing. But then, like I'm saying, it's people like you. I got the opportunity to work with her, by the way.
Yes.
And so it is you guys who are meant to unearth our Mona Lisa. I don't know what
I like it.
I don't know what is my best painting, but you know. And then it is you who's supposed to push that painting. Tell me what I can do, you know, there's a lot of content creators here. They never want to come and collaborate with artists, you know. It is only a few. I will see a few people like Bomos. We are supposed to create content together, but I don't know. There's a lot of people here that I've worked with and that I'm yet to work with here. Is it such thing? Because the world is moving. We are into digital content creation. So that is what you guys now must start looking into, and our leaders. Because we tell our leader post to us and profile pictures. And then you're gonna tell me what that person, in charge ya 500 million. Next Mona Lisa. Are you telling me that? But then you, who knows what is needed, you've been in this industry for how long? I don't know, but I've watched you on Flavordom since I was still
20 years in November, baby.
I was still in junior school.
Yeah.
I was in junior school, but then it is people like you now who are meant to. Because if we are gonna rely much on the system is not gonna take us anywhere. The system was never designed for us. We know we are labeled as misfits. So the system is never gonna allow. You go in about, I'm sure even for this event to happen, when the artist, that is what we always get. Those guys are stupid people. ba harasa, ba reng, ba reng, ba rena re itsa sentle re di-artist di ra reng, but then they still don't want to recognize us. Why? Because we never go to them. They want us to go to them, but they see us. They know us. I've been painting, I've been trending for so many years, but I can tell you what any official who's ever given me a call wanting to work with me. It is only, if you go on my Facebook page right now, and then oboya go the comment sectioning, obo check the insights, you'd find that 85% is Americans. And then the rest is South Africans. Botswana, we tell a Kid always comments on my stuff. For Italy and just a few people, but the rest you'd find Motalo Gobo Georgia. Where are you located? Where are you? But Rona kwano tabo go to what I see Wilson and Ngoni's piece. I'm like, oh, ngam Mikey sa ke mo hela iki. Ke mo share le manyene. I shouldn't see him as my competition. I should see him as Barry. Isule, let me carry it.
No, I signal.
Okay.
Okay.
I shouldn't see him. I shouldn't see him as competition. I should see him as ledara house no khata mo go khata mo tsi yone ke khata ene ka moso khata nna ha godi mme go khata mo e se ga go dirisa ele ga go isa go godimo. You know, collaboration. Way is that, you know, there is a movement in art obidwa impressionism. Impressionism was a movement in art, France. Impressionism is whereby you don't paint things exactly as they are, but you give an impression of what you feel or what you see. Okay. At first, the Impressionists were shunned out by the salon. The salon was where a lot of artworks were being sold. So because it was a new thing, they couldn't understand. They were shut out. And then people like Claude Monet, who the word Impressionism came from his painting, it was titled Impression Sunrise. And then that is how the term impression is. Vincent van Gogh. And then what they did is, because they were shunned out from the salon, they couldn't make any sales. They came together and formed a group of impressionists and impressionists. The exhibition is and now impressionists, the paintings are one of the most expensive and one of the most sold at auction houses. That is what we are lacking here, Lorona, in Botswana as creators.
But I'm glad because you answered exactly what I wanted you to say. We create our own Mona Lisas, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Yeah.
Well, you said much on what I wanted to also to deliberate on. What I just wanted to say in summary, what he said is, if those guys are very, very smart, don't think that Mona Lisa is anything. See, wow. If you see, his paintings are far better than Mona Lisa's. I mean, my paintings are far better than Mona Lisa. But those guys are very, very smart. They know if they promote this particular artist, it's PR for the country.
Yes.
You see, so right now, how many people travel to see Mona Lisa?
Millions.
Academic tourism, where now even universities have to go and, you know, study this, and they pay all this money. So this is where we are lacking. If you are to ask these questions to the Minister of the Arts or the artists, they say you are big-headed, they sabotage you. You understand? So we are silenced, the fine artists. We are not allowed to say. We are not allowed to say, go America, ba kgone go rwalla dikgong ka scotch car ba gotsa molelo gore dinaledi tsa bone di tsabakele. Botswana ene re palwa keng? Can't we benchmark where are they getting the firewood for their stars to keep on shining? We have actors here, but we have painters, we have musicians. But Rona, because I'm gonna also say much about our field. Why are we not empowered? Matter of fact, I once challenged Go Maisek. Do you know our sports in Niger Amos because of his individual brilliance? Do you know they actually get a chance to go to Rome? Otherwise, Mami, you were not going to have that opportunity. So if Wilson is invited to go Mozambique, you officials get a chance to go and see Mozambique. You understand?
True.
Yeah. So it's PR for the country, which we are missing on. If Prince Tom, if we support him, if I mean, look at Letsile Tebogo right now. He was not running for himself or his community or as an individual, you understand? PR for the country. So Mona Lisa technically is PR for those people. So we
Indeed.
need that more high.
Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our session. In closing, I want to give you an opportunity, Prince Tom, to talk to everyone. And then I'm also going to hand it over to Rewels and Ngoni.
It has been wonderful being here with you guys today. But just a few words, what I can say is there's a lot of creators in here. So just believe in the beauty of your dreams because the future belongs to those who do. And just keep on going, never stop going, never stop dreaming. You know, I take a lot of inspiration from the butterflies that I usually paint. You know, don't chase things, become the things you want to chase.
Yes.
Yeah. One thing I've learned about the butterflies is that if you chase a butterfly, it runs away. But if you want to catch a butterfly, you have to plant a beautiful garden around you. Then you just sit on it, then the butterflies will just come to you. So be like butterflies, and your time as a cocoon has expired. It's your time now to spread your wings and fly. Whatever field you are in, you know, you've been a cocoon for far too long. The butterfly knows when it's now time for it to spread its wings and become what it was meant to be. So become whatever you were meant to be. My lady here with the blonde braids, I heard your question earlier. Embrace what God gave you. If you don't know yet, then just try everything until you find what you're truly meant to be. I always say, being a creative is, you are meant to be at the service of others. So find that one thing that you can be, that you can service people, become so good at it that nothing and nobody can ever tell you that you are never meant for this thing. Thank you, guys.
Sure. Thank you. I hope I'll copyright my focus.
Patent.
Ray Wilson and Ngoni.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for the invitation. You talked about butterflies. I'm going to talk about pigs. Yes. Such a wide contrast.
I know, completely.
Okay. Now, my give to you right now is, have you guys looked at a pig? A pig. So if you look at a pig, my lady, if I was to say you're a pig, how would you feel? Lungo.
Oh, I will beat you up. I will beat you up.
I would look at it from the perspective of because
And I attend every Monday. Bush.
Can I get
So, if you were to look at a pig, like a swine, it's just a pig, and no one will like regard it. Wants como actually, or a como with this, como that, you know. But now, artists are pigs. Artists are pigs. Artists need to wash that pig, slice nicely, and brand it so that now it's called. If now I be saying, my lady, can I take you for pork or ribs, or that's what artists need to do. So my gift to you, take away, please look at a pig as an artist, but brand yourself, slice yourself so that you became bacon, so that you become pork. Because, you know, our industry is not recognized. We're the underdogs of the industry. While in actuality, Lungo, I'm gonna tell you this, and you guys, I'm gonna tell you this. Do you know how much are we paid, Rona? Do you know how much are we paid?
No.
Man, if Prince Tom today tells you he exceeds $5 million every year, would you doubt that? But do you know we are making money exceeding 5 million turnover. I mean, my turnover. I'm not saying anything, but my turnover.
So you're a millionaire.
For sure.
Halala right now.
He is.
For sure. For sure.
Come on.
How do we become this branding? You know, I take myself from a pig, I put myself as Wilson and God.
Yo! That's so powerful.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah. So please be pigs that slice themselves into pork, into bacon, into sweet ribs, ponchos, yeah, you know, that kind of stuff. So, and everything simple.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
There you have it. Bonnaka, thank you for sticking around. I know everybody's tired, but it's the fire and the desire that I'm seeing from you guys. So I think in 2-3 years, when you host this and do this, we will be here to make sure we give a helping hand and lending hand. And don't give up. Do not give up. As Kennedy said, do not give up. Keep posting, keep pushing. Know you're a business yourself. I get it. Cool. Kitty?
Okay, so in conclusion, we have our next session tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, relax, Miss K. Tomorrow. So you go we have fashion, we have
Makeup,
we have dance,
hair, everybody.
We got the hair, we've got a night market as well. So even tomorrow.
Aye.
So please come through.
Glotto.
So I'm pretty sure Glotto is going to be
She'll be
represented
here, yes.
tomorrow. Mel G Designs, because we love our designers.
Our local designers.
Our local designers. Please come through tomorrow again, 8 in the morning. We start our program. Let's just have a good Friday tomorrow. Thank you for coming once again tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.
To Mr. Wilson and Ngoni, to you, Prince Tom, thank you. Your art is seen. We love it. Now we do. I am guilty because I don't have any of the pieces, but this is why we have a panel discussion to talk about these things. So I need to pay close more attention with the craft that you do. To our media partners, to our friends from BBS Bank, thank you so much. And to the technical, to everybody, thank you for being here. Have a wonderful Thursday. And stay creative because it's the new currency. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Woo! Maake o ile wena. Maake o tlhatso tsene go kgakala. Ai ke tse Maake o tsene kgakala. Ba le time Maake mo. Ra itsheba mo. Hi.
I think I'm upset with you, baby. I think I'm upset with you, baby. Gotta go to the hustlers on my own. Gotta go to the hustlers on my own. Baby, 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 love you and we love you, Davy. I don't wanna get back. Baby, you got me blushing, I got lerato taking over my body. Wherever you go, I go.